What does Mercury retrograde in Taurus mean? Well, Taurus is an earth sign, and Taurus is the bull, and the bull does not like to be rushed, and the bull likes to relax, take their time, feet firmly planted on the ground. And Mercury generally is in a hurry. Mercury's always communicating, thinking about many things at once, trying to do many things at once. But when Mercury's in Taurus retrograde, this can slow things down. And Mercury rules communication. And a lot of times during a Mercury retrograde, people from your past will come back. Childhood friends will contact you, ex-boyfriends, ex-girlfriends. People from past jobs will contact you, people you haven't seen in years. So Mercury retrograde can be a very exciting time. It's not necessarily a bad thing. What is Mercury retrograde? Mercury does not actually move backwards, but from the view of Earth, that it appears to be moving backwards. That's when miscommunication seems to happen a lot. Electronics act up and different things that aren't really harmful but annoy people. I always say make sure before you sign any contracts during Mercury retrograde that you read it and reread it before you sign it, if possible. Mercury retrograde is famous for sending an email, but you had the wrong email address. Someone telling you to send them a letter, but you thought they said something else. Or you said call me at noon, and they called you the next day at 2 p.m., but you weren't there. A wrong phone number or a wrong address. All kinds of crazy things happen during Mercury retrograde. The word retrograde is like saying, so it's like redo this, redo that. Mercury will be retrograde from April 21st, 2023 at 4:35 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 15 degrees Taurus. Mercury will station direct on May 14th at 11:17 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 5 degrees Taurus. Mercury will go forward, backward, and then forward again. Retrogrades 3 times a year. It seems we're always just about time for the next Mercury retrograde cycle. And some things to do during Mercury retrograde. If you're writing an article or a book and you want to review it and look at it again from a new set of eyes, that's a good time to go to projects that you have put to the side and that you didn't get a chance to finish. A book that you're writing or a book you're reading or planning, think things through and plan what you're going to do when Mercury goes direct. And it's a good time for creativity. So Mercury retrograde is not necessarily a bad thing. Some great things to do during Mercury retrograde. Get outside in nature, enjoy the sun, walk on the grass, look at the birds. A great time to meditate, a great time for art, and a great time to socialize, have fun. Mercury just went retrograde April 21st, 2023. The solar eclipse was April 20th, the day before. The next few weeks, there's going to be another eclipse, a lunar eclipse on May 5th. So this Mercury retrograde, there's a lot going on with 2 eclipses right during the whole entire cycle of Mercury retrograde. Very intense time. And what not to do during a Mercury retrograde. People say don't buy electronics, don't have your car repaired, and they say not to get married during a Mercury retrograde or not to start a business. The thing is, we are sovereign, free people, and nobody can tell us what to do. So if you have to do what you have to do, and nobody can tell you what to do. So the thing is, Mercury retrograde is a guide to tell people the cycles of what's typically going on during retrograde and what to look for. But you still, everyone, make our own decisions. Not a good time to buy a house or to buy a car. And you can still do these things, but a lot of times everything will be like problems with the house you didn't know about, plumbing problems, structural problems, problems with the car, like you didn't know that somehow something was wrong with the engine, and you go to buy these things and then you're stuck with a bad house or a bad car. You might go ahead anyway, you have to, but they say buyer beware during Mercury retrograde. And on a lighter note, sometimes it's more simple than that. Sometimes all Mercury retrograde means to a situation is that the next time Mercury's in a retrograde during a future retrograde cycle, that maybe you'll sell that same house that you bought during a future retrograde cycle, or you'll sell the car you bought during a future retrograde cycle. In the future, that's when you'll make the same move that you made. And Mercury rules communication, which rules traveling. So they say when you travel during Mercury retrograde, expect delays on the roadways, delays on an airplane or a bus, however you're traveling. So if you know that and you're prepared for the delay, then, go ahead and travel. I mean, we all need to do what we have to do. On the other hand, if you're stressed out and thinking about traveling and thinking about delays, or worried that if you do take a job or get engaged, that it won't work out in your favor, and if that's the case, by all means, wait. If you can wait. The thing about Mercury retrograde cycles is they're general guides, and each person has a unique birth chart with different planets and different houses and different aspects. So it's not a one-size-fits-all, and any retrograde cycle is different for each person and every time. We should all take this information as just educational, and it's not written in stone. There's another school of thought about Mercury retrograde, and it can be conflicting at times. Different astrologers think differently, and some say, well, if you're wanting to sign a contract and you didn't sign it for quite some time, but when the cycle comes back around and it's Mercury retrograde and there's certain contract comes up for review, certain astrologers, some will say, don't sign it, wait till after Mercury goes direct. And other astrologers will say, well, this is a cycle you've dealt with before, an issue, something that you want to solve, and when it comes back around for renewal at a Mercury retrograde, that might be a good time to finally go ahead. And they say businesses that you've been putting off for many years would be a good time to start that business, or a project that you've been putting off. So this is not any one size fits all, and it's just nice to take a look at when the Mercury's retrograde and what type of issues to look out for. And the best thing to do for us is to take a step back and think about, if we do sign or we do buy, or for whatever it is, that we know what we're in for and we know what the risks are. As Mercury appears to be moving backwards and it's slowing down, so we should take that into consideration when we're trying to rush something, and we can think about, well, Mercury is in Taurus now, and Taurus doesn't like a rush. One way to make good use of your time during Mercury retrograde is to go through your house, take a look at things that you know you'll never need again, donate them, give them away, or just throw out extra trash, papers that you no longer need. And it's a very productive way to get things done and clear your mind, clear your space. And then when Mercury goes direct, you'll be organized.